Good morning, everybody, pool fans from all over the world, and welcome to Tallinn, to the Predator Eurotour Estonian Open, and where the game is 8-ball. My name is Pascal de Smit, and joining me in the booth is my longtime friend, co-commentator Arya Sorabi. Welcome, Arya.
Good morning, everyone watching around the world. Good morning to you as well, Pascal. Really looking forward to this match, Pascal. Two very talented players. Obviously, Albin doesn't need a lot of introduction, as if you've been following pool, you've seen this man on your screen for multiple times, multiple years. What are your thoughts on this match then, Pascal?
Oh yeah, it's interesting. Like you say, the man we're looking at right now with the dominant left eye, Albin Mushan. He's a monster, you could say, in pool. He's so good, so talented, and also well established versus the young Yuma Turner, who is already European 9-ball champion just recently in the European Championships in the under 23. So he must be still buzzing. So I have to say though, both players I think are especially good rotation players. 9-ball, 10-ball. The game is 8-ball, so interesting to see how this will work out. Break will be huge. What's your thought on this, Arya?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think mainly the start is going to be very important for Yuma, just for the simple fact that although he's been showing a lot of form, he's now moving up the ranks and playing the big time players such as like Albin, but they don't come more experienced than Albin. So I think if we have to take a guess, it's probably better for Yuma if he starts off sharp rather than Albin, because he's been there, worn the t-shirt, knows everything about being out in the arena. But yeah, with 8-ball also the table does kind of sometimes dictate who's going to get the better layout. So it'll be interesting to see how the players will start the match. So far it's looking bright for Albin already.
Yeah, it's also interesting that in the previous round, and just checking if Yuma maybe had a bye in the first round, because I don't see him in the draw, but Albin, well, his opponent was or pulled out or disqualified. I'm not really sure. Try to figure that out, but well, I think both players are playing their first match here, and this was well a very important ball to get shape on this 9. And well, looking away there, not happy with this result, obviously. Is there an option to the side or to the corner, Arya?
Yeah, both pockets are a possibility. Obviously, if he wants to play perfect position on the 13, I believe, he needs to inject a bit of pace, and based from this angle, as you can see, he's already trying to put the 11 in the bottom right corner pocket. What a lovely shot he's played there, by the way. What a shot he's played there.
Oh wow, and there, well, you can see the wheels grabbing a little bit of extra spin. That's also has to do with the fact that they already played the European Championships for 12 days on these tables. So it's all new equipment, but well, if they're 2 weeks old or 1 day old, that's a very big difference. So
Yeah, absolutely.
referee coming in here. So if you're wondering what's happening here, it's the rule that you can play 2 breaks each. So if you win or lose, it's alternate break but with 2 breaks. So I think Yuma was mistaken there for a bit, because the European Championships was alternate break with 1 break. So the referee was stepping in there for a moment. Sorry, Arya, go ahead.
No, nothing. I was just alluding to the fact that you said the cloths are been there on the tables for well over 10, 11 days actually. So yeah, you're completely right. They don't slide as much as they would do in the beginning day. And I think the majority of the pool players prefer that, because you can now easily manufacture your cue ball, create angles that are maybe not as comfortably on the beginning day, as we look at the layout after the break. And I have to say, Pascal, it's looking increasingly likely that Albin will dish up once more.
Yeah, kind of got lucky a little bit, lost the cue ball with the break, and Albin was already throwing his hands up a little bit by, well, it's never nice to see that you haven't dialed in the break perfect yet in the beginning, but well, I have to say that outcome, can't complain. So it's gonna be a quick one.
It's sometimes the layout looks, given the fact that you're watching one of the best ever to play the game, it looks as straightforward, because you can't see him miss. So as soon as he got on the cue ball was on and he could play the rack, you think to yourself, what can I even add to this rack?
Yeah, everything was so connected. Well, that's where the break is so important. When you break like this, well, then 8-ball is really a run-out game. So curious to see if gonna see some more tactical racks. Maybe both players are breaking like this and leaving everything in the open. Well, this is gonna be a quick match then.
Let me ask you this, Pascal. I have this idea that majority of the players in general, when they first got introduced to pool billiards, most of them have started by playing 8-ball. Is that the case with you as well?
Yeah, obviously playing 8-ball at the bar. 8-ball in the opposite corner. Like when you scratch, you get to play 2 times. Oh, look at that, there's a soft break, 2 balls in. So sorry to interrupt my own story there, but yeah, Yuma has found a very nice soft break. Full go for the 2 balls after the first one. Very smart. Seen that on the European Championships also, which was obviously also hosted by Predator, of course. And well, he executed that very good. There's a little bit work to do though.
Yeah, I'm trying to look whether there's value in making the combination on the 4, because looking at the layout, I prefer to take the solids rather than the stripes. So he could even call the 4. If he plays the combination with 10-4, he could easily control his cue ball. It's just about making the combination. but he's opted for a different route.
Yeah, I think he finds it just a little bit too tricky maybe for his first shot of the match. Not sure. Liked your option though. Would have solved the problem right away. So now we can see with a great overview that maybe when he lands on the short rail, the 4 is available. Where from this point of view, it kind of looks like you can only end up on the right side of the 4.
Well, it must be Pascal, because you saw him previously line up the shot, and this looks to be perfect, and judging by his body language, he can definitely carry on. So in the end, he chose right. So far it's looking like. So shortly he'd love to leave himself a comfortable angle on the 7 to go around the the 3 balls and to pot the other 2 solids in the same pocket. So I think the cue ball and the angle he leaves himself on the 7 right now would be crucial.
Yeah, it's better to leave a little bit of a longer shot than to be too straight. Well, maybe he's even hooked behind the 8 there. So plan B, and this is gonna be a little bit more awkward. Have to negotiate with the 12.
What I would say on this shot is, if you can just guarantee your cue ball doesn't come back, at least you guarantee yourself a shot at the 7 as he's done there. I thought that was a smart shot, but as you can see, Pascal, the 5, don't know if he can just attack it right now. He might have to,
Yeah, if he can, he should. And can he play this with, well, I thought with check side, if that is that available already on the new cloths, but played a nice line. Aimed for the middle of the table. Nice recovery and good call there, Arya.
Sometimes that is the complexion of an 8-ball match, right, Pascal, where one player gets a nice layout and they just run out really fast, and the other player has to work a bit more for it. But it doesn't matter how you get them in, as long as you do get them in and apply the pressure on your opponent.
Yeah, I totally agree. This one was very important. 2 racks in a row, you have the chance to break. So possibly, yeah, Albin getting the first 2. Yeah, you have to hold serve, you feel. It's a race to 8 on this level. Well, they can be over really quick. So another very important one. Are we gonna see the soft break again? Watch out for the 4 and the 6 in the middle. In the middle bags.
Yeah, he potted both of the second balls in the middle bag, so that was a very calculated break. But it's absolutely dead on, so it's not even with the slightest of angle. It's like full hit on the first.
Yeah, you can see very short grip on the break cue there. Well, and that's dangerous. Didn't like the last one, like you said, he hit them full
Yeah, but
on
look at the cue ball.
and lost
Cue
the cue ball now.
Yeah, it wasn't full. And nearly got lucky with the 3 there, but now, as we know, when you play 8-ball, when they spread, and they'll bound to, because the rack is tapped. Whenever you fail to pot a ball, you just feel the worst, right?
Yeah. This I feel with 8-ball, sometimes, a lot of times, hurt more when you miss. No, you're always gonna leave something good or a good opportunity for your opponent, where with rotation, 9-ball, 10-ball, well, you can only leave the ball you're missing. So a lot of times it's gonna get a little bit awkward for your opponent, but with 8-ball, when you miss, you know, can always feel like your opponent has a really, really good chance to run out, or at least play a very good safety on you.
Albin trying to figure out how to approach the last pattern. When you play 8-ball, you always trying to tend to look at how you want to finish the last 3 balls. And as you can see on both ends of the table, he's got options to play a nice, comfortable positional shot on the final 8. Oh wow. Has he hooked himself on every single ball? Surely not. Well, if you look at his body language, Pascal, goodness me, you could try that a million times and you wouldn't land there. Wow.
Yeah, that's brutal. Every, well, case where he just bumped into it would have been fine. Well, also have to watch out not to hit the 4-ball with his cue, with the spin. Well, didn't move, I think not, but didn't make it either, so that's
Yeah,
what
essentially
I meant.
this is
You're
the same
always gonna
thing.
leave something.
Wow. Yeah, you can you can see Albin having a little chuckle to himself, because like I said, you can try that positional shot a million times and you will fail to, you know, get your cue ball absolutely glued on the 4 without having a single shot on. Yeah, is it a case to say a bit unlucky, or can you say it's a bit careless? I don't know. Either way, important visit for Yuma.
Yeah, that's a good question. I have to say though, I mean, you want to play it towards that area, and I think if you play that like 100 times, how how many times are you not gonna get any shot? Yeah, unbelievable. I think you could say a lot of times you could speak of maybe being a little bit careless, but I feel this one was pretty unlucky.
I just had a quick search on the EPBF website to see the previous 8-ball results available on the website from Yuma. You know, as you can see, he's a young man, still climbing up the ranks, and he's been in form when it comes to 8-ball, because all the way back to 2021, he picked up a silver medal in the juniors, and then the 2019 he picked up a bronze, 2020 another silver. Sorry, I'm completely messing up the timeline. 2021 was silver, 2022 bronze, 2023 silver, and 24 and 25 he's reached the quarterfinals of the European Championships under, you know, in the, well, this previous event it was under 23. So he does show that he's consistent getting the business ends of these 8-ball events.
Yeah, he looks solid. He really looks up for the task against, wow, world famous Albin Ushan. Oh, just got a little bit of real there in the end, but no problem. Still new cloth.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on him when he was warming up, Pascal, and I like his mechanics. He's very methodical, but not overly methodical. You can see still a bit of a natural, ability in his game. So I think he's got a bright future in the sport. And of course, these days, a lot of pool to be played around the globe, a lot of money to be earned. So this is the best time to be a pro pool athlete.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So many nice things happening in pool. Of course, Predator having, well, a big part of all the tournaments. So responsible for a lot of great stuff happening, treating us with all the great tournaments, great equipment. What do you think of the arc table here, Arya?
Well, I mean,
looks great, right?
The whole setup looks immaculate. Just look at the lighting above in the arena. It's a dream to play at a table looking as smooth as this table is looking. And but going back to what you said about Predator, I remember back in the day when I first got introduced to the game, I would always look at the Predator cues, thinking these, I don't know, something about the brand, about the logo. It always, I had this natural tendency to get drawn into it. So yeah, I've always been a big fan of Predator equipment. And as you said, if you look at the setup, it looks, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I've seen these tables now for in a lot of matches I commentated on, and have to say, yet have to find a default, like or something that's not right. Everything looks really good. The rails react really nice. Play honest, don't play easy. Well, of course, with the new cloth, balls are gonna slide in with pocket speed as on every table. But we've also seen some balls rattle out. Pockets we're playing on is 4¼ inch, which isn't big. So Albin going for the combination. Nice shot.
Yeah, interesting shot selection. I think if he can play a stop shot here on the 13 to leave himself a nice angle on the 10, he could directly solve the problem, which is the 9 ball. So if he leaves himself a like a stop shot, he can easily play. Well, he chose to play directly for the 9, even better. So he solved that problem. So 9, 14 and 10 to play position on the 8.
Such a nice key shot from where the 14 is laying. So 2 stop shots away from going up 3-2 against the young Yuma Dunner. So in the first 2, well, can you say break sessions, they both kept their serve, and Albin is at 50% of this one. So another one, and he's 4-2 up, and then it's back to Yuma again. Gonna see a lot of break and runs, possibly.
Yeah, that's what you usually tend to see with the big time players. Like we said in the beginning, Albin Ushan is highly likely to play on the TV table more often than not, given his resume and the quality of the player. So whenever you draw one of these high high-profile players, it is vitally important to have a good start to keep up, because they are great champions for a reason. They're great front runners, so you can't really afford to ease your way into the match. You need to be on it right from the get-go.
So, yeah, I think you're right, Arya. And in the meantime, Albin broke. It's a little bit, well, still looking for that break. Lost the cue ball, almost scratched. Didn't make any of the balls behind the first shot. It's one of the, well, those two balls the players always are looking for, but because he's breaking a lot harder than Yuma, well, he has some extra chance for, let's say, some bonus balls falling into some more random pockets, which happened. So not the break he would have liked, but the outcome is all the same at the moment. Albin also a Predator player with his own brand within Predator. You can see the glove there. Albin Ocean glove. So just playing a stop shot for the side pocket, I think. Oh, what a nice close-up. This beautiful equipment.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Arya.
You can expect this from literally to the last ball. That's why it's very important for Yuma to keep up. He needs to hold his own break. He can't afford to slip up, because, as you can see right now for yourself, Albin is not going anywhere. He'll just dish up the table every time he gets to it, unless something really odd happens. That very unfortunate positional shot cost him a rack. Otherwise it could have been 5-1.
Yeah, there's a chance to get back to 4-4. So, Curious still sticking with the soft break. Have to hit it straight though. Well, 2 balls down. How's the 12 and the 3? So a little bit difficult there, Arya, with the 8 ball being blocked in both corner pockets, the both bottom corners. So you would like the solids, except for that 8 ball, right? So are you leaving the 3 as last ball and shooting the 8 ball like an upper right? That's a touchy position to play on the 3 and on the 8.
Or for a second I thought he was looking at the stripes,
Yeah, I think that's better, because when you shoot away all the stripes, the right bottom is available. The only thing is the 12 is a little bit more tricky, but maybe you can make something happen with 13. I think that's the game plan. Can even drop on the 12 now, maybe.
Yeah, he's got a perfect angle to do so. As long as he doesn't go too low, he'd always have a shot at the 10 if the angle on the 12 is not good enough.
Yeah. Good call. I like that. Let's see.
Nope, he's not played it.
Can he go directly to the 12 now with some inside spin? Don't know if the table will just grab enough to take it. Don't want to hit into the tree though.
Yeah, but that is too short. So now the cue ball needs to do a lot of traveling, unless, yeah, this has become awkward now.
Yeah, unless he wants to go some kind of trick shot with messaying with right spin to leave it there. That's very awkward. There's only the option of going around, going up and down.
There is an argument to say just leave your cue ball, well, forget about it. I was about to say center table to leave yourself the cut back on the 10. And as is always the case with 8 ball, right, Pascal, the further you get into your visit and all of a sudden you miss, you literally just open every single problem at the table. Now all of a sudden the 8 goes in many different pockets and it's not a problem at all.
Yeah, you're totally right. Normally, well, big difference for me with 9 ball and 10 ball. So rotation versus 8 ball is in rotation. The further in the rack you come, the easier the positions will be because you got more space. And in 8 ball in the beginning, a lot of times you have options, so you can play in the space and play position for 2 or 3 balls maybe. So in the beginning the position is easier, but later on you have to be more precise, also because all the balls of your opponent are still on the table. So yeah, it's a bit of a different mindset. And when you miss in the end, well, then there's no traffic or less traffic. And Albin has all the options, so made that look easy. I think didn't have a lot of problems with that, to be fair.
Yeah. And here's the scary part about Albin. he probably played to this level more or less like the entire tournament. Very rarely does he drop below his level, so this is what you can expect from him.
Yeah, he looked a little bit irritated by not breaking well. So imagine, I mean, he's like feeling a little bit irritated. You're like the European 9 ball champion under 23, and this guy is not playing his best and you're 5-2 down. It's not very nice.
Well, I mean, we can't say he hasn't played his best. He's literally just made one positional error. Other than that, you know, he's cleared the table every single time he's been at the table.
Yeah. There you can also see how high of a standard, well, Albin wants for himself. So, a bit of work to do this rack.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if the 3 will pass the 12 in the bottom right. At some point we'll probably have a shot at the potting angle, if that is even possible. If not, you know, the obvious problem needs no explanation.
I think he was looking at drawing into it from the 7. So key shot coming up, if that's the case. Oh, just missed it. Yeah, he wanted to clip it thin to not let the 15 go in front of the pocket for the 2 ball.
But I'll tell you what, though, he's got a perfect angle on the 5. In this scenario, you'd rather just glance off the 3 because you're guaranteed to leave yourself some sort of a pot on the 4 and the 1, as he's done there. Look at this. Yeah, this is panned out absolutely perfect, and even the angle he's left himself on the 1. This is going to be 6-2 unless something really odd happens.
Yeah, good call. Had a good backup. Was maybe even a better route than the first one.
Yeah, it's like playing a computer game. Every time you make an error, you just know the outcome, right?
Yeah, he can make you feel that way for sure. And imagine, we were talking at the Eurotour about Albin maybe not having the best of years recent season. And yet, I mean, there you have it. When this is not the best of years, I mean, how good is this guy? He's an absolute monster on the table, so dangerous. So tables are tapped. In case you don't know what that is, maybe you can explain that to the viewers, Arya.
Yeah, so what the officials do is they literally make a little bump in the cloth where they just guarantee that the balls, they stick to each other, which is a crucial part of breaking, because if any ball, there's a gap between any of the balls, the outcome is consistently different. Whereas if all the balls are touching, once you distribute the power towards the first ball, like you can see here, you're gonna get an even and more fair spread, if you like to call it that. And you can see here all the balls are moving, not a single ball stayed on its spot. And that's 7. Let's spoil the party there for a second.
Yeah, it's always the last ball rolling, right? Who's gonna get you in trouble?
Yeah, I think it's the table's way of saying, look, you're making this game, you're putting me on the spot here, man. You're making it look way too easy, so I have to throw you some curveballs, otherwise people won't believe this game is hard.
Yeah. Oh. Is he gonna open it up right away with the 6? 2 rails maybe? 1 rail? No, 2.
Well, what can we say?
Yeah. Maybe there could something go wrong. When you're Yuma, you hope something goes wrong with the kiss here on the stripes. But of course, yeah, he's playing very solid now. His nickname is the Smooth Operator. Well, I can imagine, can somewhat imagine how he got that nickname.
I don't know about you, Pascal, but I honestly am thoroughly enjoying this, because this is a display of how when you practice for thousands of hours, this is exactly what you want to see at the table. I mean, it's just, it's poetry in motion, really. It is that good.
Yeah. Really enjoy this also. He makes it
Match
look
point
so
coming
good.
up. Sorry, on the hill. My bad. Let's raise to 8, of course.
Yeah. So when you're Yuma, so Arya, you're Yuma's coach there, and you have to walk to his chair now. What are you saying?
Well, first thing I would ask him, I go, is there anywhere else you'd rather be than at the arena playing and doing what you love the most? Which, you know, there's an obvious answer, no. And then secondly, I'll tell him, any mistake, anything that's happened, can you now change the outcome? You again will say no. So I say, well, just do what you have to do. You know how to play this game. Surely it's not looking bright, and considering how good your opponents have been playing, you're probably not going to win this. But that should not bother you. Just focus on what you have control over, and that is your own visit at the table.
Well, wise words there for anyone listening. When you're down. So, Albin finding his break, becoming even more dangerous. And a lot of times you see the players breaking very hard with the topspin on it and breaking hard enough to let the cue ball slide toward past the side pockets, so they avoid the scratch. So 3-11 is the first thing comes to mind as somewhat of a problem. Three is available in the side, I think, at least in the bottom right. Can open it up if he chooses to.
Yeah, if he
Does
just
have
follows
the 7 as a backup ball.
Yeah, if he can just follow through the cue ball, he'd automatically have a shot at the 3 in the middle. But yeah, like you said, the 7 is a nice shot to leave himself after the putt on the 3.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna play position for the 3 in the bottom right. Not sure what he played there. Obviously not happy, so needs to come up with a plan B. So sensitive shot on the 1 needed. Needs to cross the position line of the 4 and get kind of straight on the 4, maybe with a little angle towards the 3. Well, at least not the negative angle. The angle is too big. You can still make something happen. Just don't fall short. I think he's just okay going to the short rail. And a small bump on the 11 would be nice, leaving it for the side.
Absolute clinic. Unstoppable.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Unstoppable, like you said, Arya. 8-2 for Albin. Looks like he was cruising in this Predator Eurotour Estonian Open, live from Tallinn. Well, stay tuned, people. A lot more pool to come. This is it for now. Thank you for watching. My name is Pascal de Smit. Joining me in the booth was Arya Sorabi. Thank you and see you soon.